Generation X. In general terms, those born between 1965 and 1980. Latchkey kids. Independent. Existentialism. Modern philosophy focusing on personal experience, human ability, and responsibility in an otherwise meaningless universe. We're the cause. This is the effect. We're the Gen X-istentialists. Welcome in, everybody, to the Gen X-istentialists podcast. My name is Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
And we're here to spin MegaWheel of Magnificent, take a topic, and expound upon it expeditiously. Or something thereabouts. Yeah. I'll just go ahead and jump right in and give MegaWheel a spin. How you doing today?
I'm wonderful. I've got hay fever kind of thing going on, so I apologize if I sound a little logy.
Wheezy and logy.
Wheezy and logy, yeah.
Okay.
The new buddy cop movie coming out.
Okay, so I have spun MegaWheel the Magnificent.
Oh, that was quick. And
I've got a one-word topic. So do with it what you will.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Fears.
I fear...
And just so you believe me, let me show you.
It just says fears.
That's all it says is
all
fears.
Right. Fears. Well... I don't think it's wise to share your greatest fear with the unwashed masses
not
of
just
strangers.
Fears, plural.
Fears, plural. I can tell you quite a few fears. I am not a fan of flying. Still,
okay.
I have a great fear of suffering, and I know that sounds a little nebulous, but death doesn't scare me. Suffering, to die, scares me. I've seen so many people spend years malingering and uncomfortable, not being able to sleep, being in pain. That kind of stuff scares the crap out of me.
So being in our 50s means that like every day for you is a very slow ramp up of fear.
I would say that would be pretty accurate. I think we had this discussion earlier. It was much to my wife's disgust. We had a discussion earlier where I said, I don't really see the point of aging. I think if you have children or you have something that you're really, really looking forward to, by all means have at it. But the amount of stuff I'm really looking forward to is winnowing at a frightening rate.
Really?
It is. Yeah, I have no interest in watching my friends suffer and die. I have no interest in watching myself go to more and more expensive medical appointments and my days being filled with nothing but doctor's trips and trips to the pharmacy. I have no interest in a lowering of my mobility. I don't see much of a point at it. And that sounds very nihilistic, and it's getting off the topic of fears, but we'll continue with fears. Fear of aging is definitely one of them. I guess I find it really uncomfortable to be completely out of control in a situation where I feel like the people who are in control don't have my best interest at heart.
That's life.
Hence flying. Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is with the fear of flying, I had a really bad flight once that kind of put the spook in me, if you will. And I lived with it for a number of years. I finally got over it. I kind of forced myself to get over my fear of flying. But flying has become such a complete nightmare anymore, just with logistics. A great example is some of our friends were planning on being in New Orleans this weekend for some large puppet festival they were doing down there. They're doing some big do. And they sat in the airport in New York City for 8.5 hours before their flight just got completely canceled because they gave them the excuse of the pilot hadn't shown up yet.
Oh, God.
Which I guarantee you it was probably a Boeing plane that like the wing fell off of it, or they forgot to put the steering wheel in or something. Oh, we filled it with, vodka instead of jet fuel. Sorry.
Boeing, quality is job 12.
Yeah, exactly. So, it was one of those delays, and then they finally just had to cancel their trip, which sucks.
Yeah.
But it's things like that. It's the TSA. It's getting dragged out of lines and searched and patted down. It's sitting in uncomfortably crowded, oversold airplanes.
Oh, God, yes.
The lack of amenities. The food's terrible if you get food even. They act surly because they have to bring you a small bag of peanuts. And, it's a wholly unpleasant thing. If I can't drive to my destination, I don't really even consider going anymore. So,
makes sense.
How about you? Fears?
I don't know if it's a fear or an anxiety. I classify it as anxiety. I'm not good with crowds, and it's taken me a long time to get to the point where I am transparent with myself about it, because it falls into a lot of different things that I have done, like playing music. I would love to see more concerts and go to more concerts, but I don't deal well with crowds. To the point where if you catch me at a show, I'm probably leaning against a post or against a wall, make sure that I've got multiple routes of egress so that I can get away. I'm not incredibly social. I'm not real social anyway. I do much better on a microphone than I do in real life. And it's the same thing with playing shows. If I'm playing a show, it's radically different because I have things to focus on.
Sure.
I don't have to deal with the crowd. I will check and retune my basses multiple times. I will check every connection on my pedal board. I've got things to do to take my mind off of and take me away from the other people in the crowd. And it's why I don't go see a lot of shows. And it's been really weird that it's just very recently, to the time we're recording this, that I was honest with myself and said, look, this is a thing that I've got. This is me. I'm pretty introverted. And I don't know if it falls under fears. I think it's more of an anxiety, but a lot of it has to do with preparation and that control thing you were talking about. I'm not in control of that situation. It's not an ego thing. It's about there being so many variables. And I can trace some of it back to like when I was 10, when I was diagnosed with diabetes. Suddenly my life became about contingencies and having options and having backups for things and having an answer when something went wrong. And the bigger the crowd is, the less able I am to have a good solid answer or a good solid contingency. So that's a big fear. I have a fear of editing mistakes. Nothing makes me feel worse than finishing a document, finishing a program, sending an email, and then doing a reread and finding that I missed something. And I qualify that as a fear. I have a literal fear of messing that stuff up because I'm supposed to be good at it. I've got a degree in it. I have edited multiple things for multiple people. I shouldn't make those mistakes, but I'm human. So that's a fear. I'm afraid of the water. I don't swim. Don't get me too close to a lake because I am immediately twitchy. I don't know if I drowned in a past life or something like that, but you don't want to put me in a pool. I'm just no good with it because my immediate assumption is I'm going to die. Flying, because of the crowd thing, yeah. I don't like being stuck in a seat on a metal tube with a bunch of morons that, I'm going to have to claw my way over to get to the emergency exit if something goes wrong. Or if you're in a Boeing plane, you just wait for the door to pop off. But that whole thing, I guess my real fear there is of the TSA because being diabetic, I have had TSA agents just assume that my insulin pump has to be a bomb.
Sure.
And be left there standing in a Christ pose in the TSA area with my pants falling down because I don't have my belt in and arms out. Can I put them down? No, not until we get the results of the swab back.
Yeah.
Okay, just standing there and everybody on my flight walking past like, oh, what'd he do? Is he suspicious? And when I finally get my stuff together, you go walking to the seating area waiting for your plane, and everybody's like, look, it's him. He's the one that they were looking at. He's the one that they were afraid of.
Yeah.
It's just
I think
too much.
A lot of this, you talk about crowds, you talk about the whole TSA thing. A lot of this comes from the fact that we as a society have become so low trust.
Yeah, very much.
That people just don't feel comfortable in situations where they're surrounded by strangers or they're packed in like sardines
And to a certain extent, admittedly, it's a little bit valid because sometimes people give you reason where, you should have been more concerned.
Sure.
I think that's just in general. We need to weed out the jerks a little bit better.
I'm all about that. They tell me I'm a bad guy when I start talking like that, but I don't think a wolf has any place in this civilized town.
No. And,
there's a reason there's outskirts.
And I think a lot of it can be taught too. Instead of people in jail, let's actually try rehabilitation. Other countries do it and it works. We've got proven track records in multiple countries where when you actually work to rehabilitate, it works. You don't have what's the word for when criminals
recidivism.
Yes, you don't. You don't have
Look at that.
The incredibly high rate of recidivism.
$10 word pulled right out of my bottom.
Yay! Only here on the Gen X-istentialists, folks.
No, I mean, I don't have a problem with the people in jail. It's the people out of jail the ones that give me the most concern. So
plenty of people out of jail that need to be put in jail. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, razor wire never cut anybody who didn't try to climb over it.
Holy crap!
Boom,
That's
boom.
Awesome.
Sorry.
And on that note, we're going to give MegaWheel of Magnificent a spin.
That's probably a good idea.
Over 1,400 topics from which we will pull one, and let's see if we can get another one-word topic here. And she's spinning. Okay, I'm not quite sure how to take this. And you can take it however you like. How do you like to receive care?
How do I like to receive care? I think for me, receiving care, the best way to receive care is when I feel like it is, like there's not a lot of thought put into it, that it's just part of...
It's a natural thing.
It's a natural thing. Like you said, it's like breathing. If I think that's the way I find care most meaningful.
Yeah.
When I feel like it's not putting someone out to do it. Not when I have to ask for it. It's as simple as if I'm sitting at my desk on the office and my wife shows up and she brought cookies for both of us.
Yeah.
It seems simple like that, but it's little things like that. I didn't ask for it. I didn't mention I was hungry at all, the whole morning, but just things happen.
Yeah.
It's like when she'll come home from work, from the office, and I'll have dinner ready and all the silverware set out, and all she has to do is just dump her clothes and her satchel or whatever and sit down to a nice home-cooked meal.
Yeah.
Nobody asked for that. It just happened because it's one of those things where you care about the person and you want to make their life easier and happier. So that's how I like to receive care.
Yeah.
Thoughtlessly.
And how you like to give care. I would agree with that 100% because there are little things you do, and I think especially when you're in a long-term relationship as you are with Jean or I am with Tracy. Like there are little things I do not even thinking about it. Like in the mornings before I leave, she's generally sitting in her certain spot and she's got a cup of coffee. Before I leave, I'll refill her coffee because usually she's got a cat on her lap. So I don't want her to have to put Elizabeth down, so she has to get a cup of coffee. And it's not something I think about. It's just something I do because it's her. Mm-hmm. And I think that's typically the type of care that most people want and give. Like you're saying, it's not, you don't expect anything for it. It's just you're giving care because you care. That kind of thing.
I think one of the things about that unspoken care, or that thought-free care, I guess, is that it's a two-way street, too. I think a lot of people don't realize that if you have someone who is ungrateful, that kind of care is very difficult. You see that sometimes with neighbors or elderly parents or people at your work or something. If you do things for them and they just don't really care or appreciate it, it becomes more difficult to give that kind of care, and then care disappears, or slowly disappears, and it becomes a big issue.
It's easy to take for granted.
It is very easy to take for granted, and I think that's what makes it so wonderful, is that it is such a fragile thing.
Yeah, you have to work at it, but really you don't. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a weird thing like that. Takes work, but if you're working at it, you're probably doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, shall we give it another spin then?
Yeah.
Hang on, I need to remove that topic. Ha! I hit the right button, so it shouldn't pop up again.
Oh, good.
So we're down to like 1,395 topics on the wheel now.
We're going to run out.
And MegaWheel is spinning. Holy cow. Okay, this is a long one. Ready?
Yep.
If you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be? You make a wish, you go to bed, and you wake up tomorrow, and you've got it.
This doesn't have to be a realistic one. This can be a fantasy one.
Well, it could be. It could be realistic.
Okay. I would love the ability to heal by touch. That would be something I would love to wake up to.
So like a Wolverine or Deadpool like regeneration?
No,
or you want to be able to heal other people?
Yeah, that. Because I think that would be not only much needed in this world, but it's something that you can do for others that, I don't know, it just would make life so much easier for everyone around you.
Even if it comes with the spin on it that you can't heal yourself.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of hope that I'd still receive healing from someone out there,
You're the only one that
doctor.
Can do it.
Well, I can receive care, as we spoke of before, but I don't think, here's something that kind of harkens back to that. I don't think healing is something that needs to be absolutely commoditized and made hidden behind gates.
How un-American of you.
Well,
I'm joking, of course.
It's definitely one of those things where, no one wants to need to be healed. Right. No one wants to be in that situation, and most people didn't ask for it. Some people did. Some people opened their big stupid mouth, got punched. Bam! No, but most people, things happen to you as you go through this life.
Yeah.
And to have the ability to do something but hold back on it is, I think that's almost criminal to an extent. Now, I understand that people need to be paid for their services. People need to eat. People need to have care in that respect, that we live in a society where these things happen. But if you had something like a magical power where all it took was the touch to heal someone, not the Stan Bush touch, but similar, I'd love it if that song played every time I did it. You got the touch. That'd be awesome.
Or invisible touch.
Well, that worked too. But just something. I think it's a way to give to the world selflessly. Hard to get that out.
Yeah.
So how about you? If you could wake up in the morning with any ability on the planet, what would you?
The ability to make insulin.
Hey, there you go. That's a more grounded, realistic thing.
All I want is a working pancreas for Christmas.
Hey.
And I'm willing to pay for it.
That was the second version of the all I want for Christmas is my two front teeth or whatever. The chipmunk song or whatever. Didn't go over quite as well.
Exactly. But like an actual ability or something. See, I'm being really selfish compared to what you said. I want to be able to actually sing halfway decent.
Oh, there you go.
Because for whatever minuscule musical talent I've got, singing is not part of it. I've got an okay speaking voice, but my singing voice is pretty craptacular.
Okay.
I've worked on it, and it's still not real good.
Yeah, there's some things like It's funny. I don't have the frame of someone who can gain muscle. Like I could be more muscular, but I'll never be a hulking specimen, no matter how many steroids I take, no matter how much I work out. It's just not going to happen because I have bony girl arms and I have, I have narrow shoulders and stuff like that. So it doesn't matter how much I do this. This is just the way
You're the way God made you.
I'm the way God made me. And he said, I want you to be able to climb through air ducts in the next Aliens movie as opposed to, lift up an alien and give it a pile driver. So
God whispered in Bunny's ear in the womb, when the aliens come, you'll be able to get away.
You'll be narrow enough to slide through that tube.
You'll be able to save Ripley.
Yeah, look at me. Space mommy, I'm coming.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it's just one of those things, you know. So.
And that about does it for this episode.
Wow, already.
Contact
really
information, just hit us up on the website.
Come on by the Mixcloud page. Drop us a line. You can leave comments there. You can favorite it. You can give us all kinds of love.
Give us likes. Give us love. Give us
your
your
questions.
souls. Give us your souls. Or questions. Mm-hmm. Questions are fine, but
lightly worn garments.
Yeah, I guess that too. Anyway, until next time, we are the Gen X-istentialists. My name is Scott.
I'm Bunny.
We'll catch you next time. Have a good one.